You got it now?
What do you mean? Glad it's always we're professional and we know what we're doing.
No, totally professional. All right. Amanda, this is Jay, and we're going to look at crimes across the world today. Usually we've done UK and US, but we're going to go across the world. So, somewhat fitting with current events, although not intentionally, we are going to Russia.
Ooh, okay.
Are you ready?
Russia.
We are going to Russia. So, this is the Chessboard Killer. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
All right. You are in the dark, my love. Very dark.
Oh. Got 3 other names.
Yes. Do you have a light nearby, sweetheart, you can put up?
I've got a light on.
You're very much in the dark, though. There you go. There's your shining face. All right, so this is the Chessboard Killer, also known as the Vitebsky Maniac and the Bitsa Beast.
Oh, all right. Kind of fitting that the last one that we did was the Manchester Beast.
Mm-hmm. So this lovely specimen is Alexander Pichushkin. He was born in Moscow in 1974, and most of his victims were killed in Bitsevsky Park, which is why he's called the Bitsevsky Beast.
Okay.
His hero was Chikatilo.
Okay.
As we all know, is a pretty awful dude. And he believed himself to be in competition with Chikatilo, although there's no evidence that Chikatilo had any idea that this dude even existed.
Wow, that's gotta hurt, really, isn't it? When your idol kind of doesn't know who you are.
Well, when you think you're in a competition that nobody knows you're competing, it's a little bit different. So this is Bitsa Park. So you can see it's actually really beautiful.
Does look nice.
And so this is it here, and it's right outside of Moscow.
Okay.
So it's I think it's still considered within Moscow, but like not Moscow center.
So what, like a greater Moscow part of area?
Yeah, kind of. Yep, like a metro area, sort of. Moscow's a pretty big city. So the reason he was called the Chessboard Killer is because when he was arrested, they found a legitimate, like a chessboard, right? And a chessboard has 64 squares. 61 of them had squares marked off as a victim.
Damn.
So his goal, it appears, was to fill the board with his chess pieces, which were victims.
Quite a lot.
64 is a lot. Yeah, 61 is a lot, but like 64 would have been even more, obviously, if we can math.
Quite frustrating that if he was only able to do like he was 3 shy of his goal.
Yeah, but let's think about it as 3 people that lived.
I mean, there's that way as well, yeah.
Think of it that way. All right, so most of his victims were homeless and unnamed, so we don't really know who they all were. What in the middle of the park, there was like a sewer that you could get the lid off of. And so he killed them and threw them down the sewer. And then they were just washed away by the system and nobody ever found them.
Wow, that's an unusual way to get rid of and kill people.
I mean, it's a very efficient way.
It is. You murder and you've also got rid of them.
Done and done. So this lady here is Maria Viracheva. And so she had been in the park. She was upset. She just had a bad day, and she was having, she was crying. And he was really, really nice to her. He came over there and he like put his arm around her. He's like, "Oh, it's gonna be okay. You'll get through it." Very comforting, very sweet. Gave her his address. He was like, "Here, I'm not a bad guy. Here's where I live. I'm a good guy. I'm a nice guy." And then he tried to kill her. So not really as much of a nice guy as he was.
Well,
She survived, thankfully. He pushed her down the sewer, but he didn't hit her hard enough where she was dead or knocked out. Like she survived. So she climbed out of the sewer and actually went to the police and told them what happened. And they were like, yeah, okay. And didn't do anything about it.
well, it says there, like, the inspector took a statement, was sacked.
Because he didn't do anything.
Didn't take her serious then?
No.
Wow.
I was like, oh, that sounds terrible. Have a great day. Bye.
I don't know nothing about it.
I get it, moaning on and on and on. No, I really don't know how he specifically reacted, but he didn't do anything about it. There was no investigation. He was just like, oh, okay, that's the thing that happened. I know.
Wow. Sounds like a real good inspector.
Amazing police officer, that one.
Mm.
And so when they arrested him, they wanted a confession, as of course they always do. And he said the only reason he would give it a confession is if it was a live broadcast. So they set up the cameras and they were like, yeah, it's going to be a live broadcast, Alexander. We're going to tell everybody. And of course, they didn't actually broadcast it. They're not.
That's very cruel.
So here's some fun highlights of his confession. But for me, a life without murder is like a life without food for you.
Okay.
And why did I kill? I don't know. There was no sense in life for me without this. So like he had zero remorse. Zero. And so he claims that he's killed 61 or 63 people, depending on what day he was telling a story. And during his trial, he wanted to make sure that everybody knew his count was higher than what he was charged with.
Okay.
A little bit ego there.
Well, it's a little bit of an inflation of the what you did, but yeah.
Got the ego, And he was convicted in 2007. The jury deliberated for only 3 hours before finding guilty of 48 counts of murder and 3 counts of attempted murder. Again, he claims it was closer to 64, but he was only convicted of killing 48. Russia at this time did not have the death penalty, and they just about brought it back just for this guy.
Wow. So he's kind of like a little bit salty. He's like, hey, you know what, right? There was 64. You've only done me for 48. Like 48 is like not nothing, but it's a lot of people, that.
Well, if he thinks he's in competition with Chikatilo, like.
I could see that, yeah.
He's trying to inflate his numbers,
I mean, it's good that he didn't do more, but, it seems like a little bit of a.
Well, it's a little bit like, really bad. Like that guy, somehow that guy has killed 48 people.
Yeah, it looks more like, a plumber that comes round that's a little bit of a shoddy plumber. It doesn't look like he's going to kill you or anything, but.
No, and apparently he was just like, he was really, had a very calming presence and people just thought he was a nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
He was not a nice guy.
Until he flushed him in the sewage system.
Shucked him right down.
Yeah.
Away they went.
Yeah, wow.
And so I'm sure there's still, these are still like open, like missing persons cases that there's no way those will ever be solved.
So his numbers could be what he wanted.
Could be, or he could be just talking shit.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of serial killers, they do talk a lot of shit just to, boost themselves up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are genuine, where they've killed the amount of people, and they're like, well, I'll tell you what, if you don't believe me, I'll show you where every single corpse is. Wow, damn, you did do
Some
that.
do, yeah. And then there's other ones who are very concerned with like their legacy and wanting to sound scarier than they are.
So what, was he put on death row, or was he just life sentenced off?
Just life sentence off, yeah.
Oh, wow. He's probably in somewhere real cold right now.
Well, he's in Russia, they're all cold. There's not really any warm spots.
I don't actually know. There probably isn't.
There's no tropical Russia. Mm.
Well, a little sunny island or something somewhere. If there was a sunny island, they're not going to put like serial killers and stuff on it, are they?
No, it would be where the oligarchs would live.
Well, you got to treat him someone else. Oh, well, he sounds like a right nice gentleman.
Just randomly going around killing at least, I mean, he was convicted of 48. So that's still an incredible amount of people to have just thrown down a sewer.
He's 37, so what, he's going to be like 37. He's nearly 50, isn't he? So he's like 49 or something. Damn.
Yeah.
He's got a long life still. He's got at least another, 30 years in prison. Well, you didn't do well enough. Next time you throw people down the sewage system, just make sure they're, done. It's not tip or anything, but
yeah, you know what? Let's not give tips on how to murder better. Feels like a bad idea.
So on our next tutorial video, we're giving tips on how to kill people successfully.
Things we've learned from crime scenes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It'll bring attention to us somehow.
But as far as how to do it, he did pretty well.
It is quite an effective way, really, because like you're killing them, the body's gone, it's been drowned. I don't know where the sewage systems will lead out, probably to a sea or something.
Or to a treatment plant where they treat them with chemicals and then, which are designed to handle any like small animals that fall in and clean up the water and things.
So did he actually get any bodies, or is it just like going off his word for 48? Have they actually recovered
they had
any
enough
bodies?
evidence to convict him of 48 because they did find things in his house like little trophies and stuff.
No body was ever recovered.
She's the girl that survived is the only one that I know of.
And that's crazy. That 48, and there's families at least of 48 that can't exactly put their loved ones to rest. That's wild, that.
And it could be higher. There's really no way to know.
No. There's not a lot of pictures of him.
No, that's kind of the only one that I've got.
Well, I guess I didn't really want to put him on blast out there, give him a little bit of a, what do you call it? His fame sort of thing.
Well, he thought he was getting his fame because he thought he was confessing to the live television, and he was.
And you weren't. You were confessing to a bunch of officers that were probably having a good old laugh at you.
I mean, I don't know the officers involved, but I highly doubt that they're having a good old laugh when listening to this man talk about, like, some of the stuff he said was just like life without murder. For me, a life without murder is like a life without food for you. Like, that's
well, if their lead investigator really didn't care about the victim's statement, I can only imagine what the rest of the department was like.
Yeah.
He's a weird one, he is. Oh, well, that was a good one.
Yeah, somebody you'd never heard of.
I had a feeling you'd do this country, but I wasn't 100% sure. And I was like thinking, oh man, if you're going to be doing this country, make sure the names that's not too complicated, because I would be struggling to say some of these names.
My Russian's not that great, so.
It would have been interesting if they had 48 of the victims' names and you read them out, to put them out there. I imagine there'll be some real wild names, and I'll be like, oh, I'm impressed.
I'm sorry, this didn't impress you.
Oh, this impressed me. This is weird. I didn't know about this guy. Learned 2 new ones today, and this one's one of them. Because I know a few from this place, but I didn't know about him. Did he have like a nickname? Like most serial killers, like, what was he like? The Sewage Man or something like that?
No, he's got 3. The Chessboard Killer, the Teskey Maniac, and the Bits of Beast.
Nobody wanted to call him the Sewer Man. Missed out there.
No, I didn't want to call him the Sewer Man.
All right, well, go on. Put this on pause then.
Okay.
Oh, wait, this bit will get edited out. Boobs.